Hello, welcome to us. Oh no, I've done the wrong thing. Hold on. There we go. Hello, welcome to us, Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to Stream Street Day 192, maybe 191. What up, everyone? Hello to the Grot Gang, the Twitch chat, all my bros, and the ladies. Diadrin, hello. The famous diachasm of the Honest Wargamer show. MJ Pegasus, Iggy, what's up? Welcome. As you can see, managed to get back into the studio. Big shout out to Nathan Prescott for angle grinding out a lock on the bar, which needed doing today. So big love to you, to Nathan. So big shout out to him for sorting it out back in the studio. Although, don't expect it to look like this for much longer. I'm gonna now that the venue's up and running and sorted out a little bit, this is the next thing, and you guys should get a better presented show. You guys should also get a better stream, better podcast coming to you soon. So the Honest Wargamer 2.0 coming up, if that's good for you guys. Hello to Tony Moore in the chat. Anixima, Diadrin, is it a bit cold? It's starting to get cold. It's starting to get a bit chilly, but it's a nice sunny day today, so I'm enjoying that. Commander Cottonfluff, thanks for subscribing. So yeah, hello everyone, welcome to the show. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you are work or not at work, I'm not sure what that is for you guys, but I hope it's okay. I'm going to talk about news from around the hobby today. So there's a lot of stuff that went off. There was some Age of Sigmar events, but not many. But there was some big 40k news as well. So I thought I'd break that down. I'd talk about all the stuff and talk about what my opinions are on it. What up to Big Goldfish? Yeah, I made it through the door. Any Gargantic news? Yes, Gargants. Pretty certain we've started to see some articles. We know that the 40k codexes are going on pre-order this weekend, so that would mean probably Gargants the weekend after is what we're thinking. MJ Pegasus says, Honest Wargamer version 2, huh? I think I'll wait for the FAQ to come out. I'd probably wait for the FAQ to come out. The more honest a Wargamer, that's exactly what we're going to be. Commander Cottonfluff, I'm having a fantastic day. Finished my very first 2 minis I have ever painted at the minute, and I'm building some to add into the queue stuff to paint. Well done, Commander Cottonfluff. Welcome to the family. That's what we are. More than a community, a family. So Hawkeye, what up? Napratine, hello. Okay, let's start talking about the news. But before we do, I just want to say thank you to everyone on the Honest Wargamer Patreon. Obviously, you guys are brilliant. Couldn't do it without you. And a big shout out to everyone on the podcast. Please stay hydrated and look after yourselves. If anyone's not got any burning questions in the chat, I see Dave Fraser's in there, so I'm sure there will be one. But we know that next week isn't all releases for 40k. It's at least another week of models to come. Yes. Napratine in the chat says 18 Enlightened with Be'lakor in Phantasmagoria is a fucking blast. That's cool. I'm going to go look that up after. Thank you. My question, what is for lunch? Probably just some jam sandwiches, which is, that's what I'm going to be making a lot. The T-Sports Arena costs a lot of money. We're broke, ladies and gentlemen. We're going jam sandwiches all day long. But I love what I do, so who cares? So we're all good. But thank you to everyone on the Honest Wargamer Patreon so that we can buy them jam sandwiches. They're always nice. What, are you a toddler? No, they're just cheap. Fuck you. Yeah. Jam and peanut butter is a great healthy meal, actually. Thank you, with a banana. Fuck you. All right, let's talk about some events that occurred at the weekend, because there's some really cool news. So over in Italy, you had the Chaos Championships, which is kind of like the Italian Masters. Now, this is where it gets super weird. Yeah, arguing with Australia for having the weirdest armies. You've ended up with first place, an Ogre Moor Tribes army. Now, it's Boulderhead from the realm of Shaman. Now, there's a Frostlord Stonehorn, obviously, and he's got the Plate of Perfect Protection and Metal Cruncher. Then there's a Huskard on Stonehorn. Now, being in Boulderhead, I think there's an additional wound to each monster or that is going to be in the list. And also, you're able to take an extra mount trait on each monster that you see as well, which is weird because then there isn't lots of them. And instead, there are 3. So there's a Frostlord on Stonehorn, a Huskard on Stonehorn, a Slaughtermaster, and he's got Blood Feast, and then you've got a pack of 6 Mournfang, which is pretty wild. and then 2 packs of 2 Mournfang, and then another Beast Riders, Stonehorn Beast Riders. So there are 3 Stonehorns, and then that big pack of Mournfang in the list, and it's in the Earlbad battalion, which is pretty rad. Like, that's very, very fun. That's a lot of wounds in that Mournfang pack, and they're also very punchy. So it's kind of like you've got 4 big monsters punching it through. But it's cool to see them do well. Anyone got any questions or thoughts on that? Thanks, guys. Jam putties are the best. Okay, I love how I'm talking about Warhammer and you're like, onto the food. Jam putties are the best. Jam putties are good. I'd make you lunch if I live closer. Thanks, Napratine. But honestly, I'm really happy with my life. I get to talk about Warhammer, and the T-Sports is starting up again. I'm going to get to see those teams play. I got a really great life. Like, I don't mind just eating a bit on the cheap for a while. I had a really lovely lunch with the wonderful big goldfishes in the chat the other day. Treat me to a lunch, so I'm over the moon. So thanks, everyone, but don't worry. I'm not going to get scurvy. I eat well. I just don't, like... Okay. So the info about the tourney is... Hold on. I'll grab the link for you guys so you can see via a tweet. So you... Oh, no, hold on. I've grabbed the link. Let me grab this link for you guys to see in the chat. Okay, so I'll put them in the chat for you here. So first place, Boulder Head, Ogre More Tribes, took it out. And that's really cool. Oh my God. Stop talking about me. I eat fine. Don't need fruit and veg bringing. Right, okay. Next up, I need some windows, but that's a whole different conversation. In second place, Fire Slayers. Fire Slayers came second, and that's really awesome too. But it isn't the most exciting list. So it's 2 lots of 20 Hearthguard Berserkers. It's a 15 Hearthguard Berserker. It's Lords of the Lodge, Runic Firewall, an Auric Runefather on Magmadroth, Rune Smiter, Rune Master, and the Battlesmith, of course, with an Obsidian icon, and the Hermdall Lodge. In fact, actually, I'm just going to put this on the Honest Wargamer website. This is just the copy paste. This is what you do if you're playing Fire Slayers. Like, you don't do anything else. You can do other stuff, but this is just the one. This is the list. This is what, if you're going to play Fire Slayers competitively, you would take. And it's also what you're going to have to face. Maybe you move some characters around here or there, but it's basically the same. Some people add a gun hauler, but it's always just the Hearthguard Berserkers. You win, you lose. It's that. That's the list. Second place. It's not interesting. It happens all the time. But it is something for people to be aware of. Just get me pregnant already, says Cameron Fayweaver. Oh, dear me. Cameron, are you able to have children? I guess is the real question. I like the all-winner list. Take good unit A and B and then spam them as much as you can. A great criticism pointed at Age of Sigmar by our 40k show host Nikos is that it is a game of spam. The interesting elements, specifically, if you look at the list that we just saw, is the 3 Stonehorn list. There are some characters on the Stonehorns, and they do have different artifacts and traits, but it's quite low model count. And then if you look at something like the Fireslayer list, really it's because they just don't have particularly good internal parity. What you end up with is units inside that book that are just, they do the same job, but they do the job better than the other unit that does their job. It's hopefully something that Games Workshop, when they do their model design, will change in the future. For example, like, we don't really need the heavy intercessor when you have the intercessor and already Marines, because it's the same role in the same position, so you don't need it. I'm very excited about looking at the Necron book when the Necron book comes out, because they've had the ability and they've got the option to design a load of different units that do different roles, and I'm really hoping that we see that started slowly integrated into Age of Sigmar. Now, obviously, the Seraphon book, the Kharadron Overlords book, and the Tzeentch book, which are all books that we've seen this year, are books that already had existing models, so really they have to kind of like design what they do in the framework of the fact that they already exist. I'm hoping in the future we see some armies that get released where they've really, really thought about it and they think, okay, we're going to give you... Lumineth. Lumineth is a really good example of where I think they've started to nail this idea, where the roles are different. The Sentinels do a very different job to the Dawn Riders, do a very different job to the Wardens, Teclis, the Calathar, Eltharion. They all have a very different role, which I think is excellent. We saw that also from the Mortek Guard release as well. Not Mortek Guard, I mean, it's called something else. OCR Bone Reapers. So I agree with you. A lot of the books, or some of the books specifically, are the same thing spammed. But you do see a difference sometimes, and I'm hoping eventually as model design and rule design integrates, they start to understand that more. Then again, we ended up with intercessors, so maybe fuck me, and that's a stupid idea. Hey, Chris in the chat. Shall we set up a crowdfunding campaign for Rob? What for? I'm fine. Everything's fine. Like, it's fine. Okay? It's obviously not going to end up with a lot of money when you set up like an entire sport arena. Like, it's fine. We're okay. Like, but I mean, I don't mind if you want to ever throw me some cash. Right, next up. In third place is Karajan Overlords, Barak Ziflin, okay. So you've got the Navigator, the Admiral, and then he's got 20 Arkanauts, and he's got 4 lots of 10 Arkanauts as well. Now, this is third place. He's got the Iron Attack Squadron, and then he has got 3 frigates and the Ironclad. Now, this is a kind of really interesting list because it's quite character light, which is fairly important, but obviously those characters can be more survivable than other kind of 5-6 wing characters because they can always be inside boats, which means they're like -1 to hit, they're in cover, so they're safe, which is a bonus for these units. But then that reduction in characters has meant that he's ended up with more bodies on the board. So if you look at Tubbsy's list, if you go back and listen to the Karajan Overlord kind of discussion I had with AOS Tubbs, which you should listen to, Sean Tubman, it was really cool, and he was talking about the fact that he wanted more bodies on the board, and Arkanauts are brilliant. I think he ran 50 as well, slightly differently. But then you've got these MSU frigates where there's 3 of them, and the Ironclad. So he's got a lot of movement, a lot of board control, and a lot of shooting. But he's also got the bodies. You sometimes tend to see KO lists that don't have all the bodies. Whether or not that's a good or bad list, it makes sense. So that is the Italian Masters. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Morning, T-Man Cash, and hello everyone else. I hope you're all well. Okay, so that was the Italian Masters. No real surprises other than first place, which is truly exciting to have an Ogre More Tribes list take it out. And they're going to win events sometimes. The Stonehorn list, I mean, everything to do with like all the other stuff, not going to ever do it. Still excited about the Iron Gut list. Still very excited about that in Winterbite. Think that's super cool. Not too stressed about anything else in that whole army. Thank MJ Pegasus for donating 100 bits to the show. You gorgeous, gorgeous fella. Okay, and also thank you to Colonel Cabbage for donating £3.69. What is going on? I don't need... Thank you. Thank you very much. It's always appreciated. I will put that towards a fruit bowl or some bananas, potentially. I don't know, maybe a pepper. Get yourself a better sandwich. The peanut butter and jam sandwich is a good sandwich. I'm very upset that you guys... I'm going to go find some articles later, you motherfuckers. It's a good after-gym sandwich. I don't go to the gym, but... Okay. Other news, very quickly, that over in Norway? Was it in Norway? There was an event, a 29-man event, Return to the Realms. I think it was only a one-day event, but obviously with the limited number of events, it's always nice to talk about. And quite coolly, it was won by Legion of Grief. So there you go. So, which is fun, because our 2 results this week are fun, interesting, different lists. Now, this was run by Nico van der Hoek. Definitely got that wrong, and I'm very sorry. He's from the Fallen Angels Gaming Club. They've got a very cool website, these guys, punpun.nl. Again, I'll get the list. I'll get the link for you guys in the chat. You know, most traditionally I see stuff. 2 days, 5 games. Sorry. In the Netherlands. Is Netherlands different to Norway? Probably the same. It was streamed on Twitch. Okay, if you find me the link, we'll talk about that. It sounds the same. New Zealand, not New Zealand, Netherlands, Norway, whatever. Dajin, thank you for donating £3.69. Also, I recognise that you're donating in amounts of 69p. Like, you are really derailing the show today. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to give you some Tory Robs in the chat. Thank you. So oh dear. What's that saying? What's Scott Brent said? Buy Rob some jam, we can feed him for a week. Buy him a strawberry plant and some sugar, and he can feed himself for a year. Strawberry plant's hard to care for. That'd be fun. Having a strawberry plant. Anyway, listen. Legion of Grief. So, because it's some cool news. Ogre tribes have won, and now Legion of Grief have won. The Legion of Grief list is, okay, a Dreadblade Harrow, obviously, a Necromancer, which is cool, Guardian of Souls with Nightmare Lantern, and a Guardian of Souls with Nightmare Lantern, and then 20 Blade Geist Revenants, which is the kind of done thing at the moment, 2 Chain Ghasts, but then 2 big blocks of 40 Chain Rasp Horde, which is awesome, and then a 10-man Chain Rasp Horde, 5 Direwolves, and then 30 Grimghast Reapers, which, don't forget, because they're in Legion of Grief, they're going to be able to resummon those units back from the general being, of course, the Dreadblade Harrow, who's very hard to pin down because of his ability to run around the board. So it's a lot of wounds, actually, if we look at it. It's 174 wounds, with my kind of like thumb in the air guessing it's about, the average is about 120 wounds, generally. However, those 120 wounds, if we go back very quickly, because this is a fun thing that me and Ziggy do now with the stats for the Super Series, and it's really fun to kind of like break this down. Oh, I'm going to ring him after with this awesome stuff. So, when you end up with if we look at the Fire Slayer list that we were talking about before, there are really 55 bodies, 6, 7, 8, 69 bodies, but you end up with 140 wounds. 140 wounds on that 60 bodies. However, in this winning list for Legion of Grief, you end up with 85, wow, 105, 107, 1, 2, 3, 4, 111 bodies, equaling those 174 wounds. So the ability to control the board space is obviously really fantastic, and block stuff up. So it's super cool. Super cool is what I'm trying to get at. In second place was another Caradron Overlords list. I haven't seen a tournament result recently where Caradron Overlords haven't been in first, second, or third. Like, they are a thing now. They're very real. They're very good. They're very strong. You should be aware of it. So he's got a Ziflin list again, Endrin Master Navigator, and then an Endrin Master with the Endrin Harness. He's then got only 30 Arcanaut Company in 10s. He's got 2x3 engine riggers, 2 frigates, and of course, always the Ironclad. But then he's got a double battalion. He's got the Iron Sky Attack Squadron and the Iron Sky Command, which is pretty cool because KO normally, when I'm writing lists to think about KO, I think that they're going to be pretty high drop. In this situation, they're not a particularly high drop, but they sacrifice having more bodies on the board to do so. But they ended up coming in second place, and that's pretty fun. And then in third place was Seraphon Ignaz van Hasselt. I'm going to go for. So, again, Seraphon, obviously brilliant. Croak, Ashloth Banner Bearer, Skink Star Priest. It's a Fangs of Sotet list with a Skink Priest. 5 Saurus Guard to protect Croak, 2x40 Skinks, 2x12 Salamander Hunting Packs, Vortex, and Geminids. A very, I would argue, the cookie cutter list at this point for Seraphon. That's nails hard. Each one of that, the 40-man block unit of Skinks, 2 of them are devastating in combat. And the 3x12 Salamander Hunting Packs, they're devastating in shooting and in combat, both of them. He has 4, and including Croak, 5 major threats. It's like razor thin. That's like so tight. So tight. With his only loss being to Olaf, which I think was an Eels list. Yes, of course. An Eels list, which I guess could be tough to deal with in some situations. So those are the kind of results. Right. Grot noodles for Rob. Okay. Rob, when you Google PB&Js, you'll find articles about how much NBA players love them. Teams have led revolts against the train staff when they tried to take them away. See? I'm basically a Warhammer NBA player. That's the kind of... I know I'm not in the T-Sports. I know I'm the commentator, but I feel that energy. I've got to keep up with these like pro athletes like Nige from the Marauders, like AD Mac. I've got to like work at their pace from the Dragon Slayers. Like, you know, I need that kind of like drive and motivation to stay so strong, really. 27 eel spam is never fun. Rob is the key of good vibes. Thanks. That's what good. Thanks. Sometimes I got to deliver the shitty news, but we can do it in a fun way. All right, so 2 events, 6 lists, awesome results, really fun. Legion of Grief list in there, which is super sweet, and a more tribes list. So just again, never stress too much about your army. You know, you'll maybe take an event out here and there. Now, yeah, just keep trying, whatever your list that you want to run is, and how it goes for you. Okay, always. And I think anyway, yeah, some cool lists if anyone's excited by those. Okay, so that's event results. Now I'm going to go into news, if that's okay with everyone else. So some big news in 40k is the announcement, of course, of the codexes finally for Space Marines and Necrons. And I'm going to just start off with, and some release stuff. So I'll talk about this. So there was a leak online yesterday, or maybe the day before, which has preempted Games Workshop having to like put all this information out. There are 98 data sheets for the Marine book, which is just nuts. They have nearly 100 units on their own, which is just wild. That's a big book. It's a big book. That's a lot of units. You know, if you did want to do a collection that is timeless, probably Marines are the one. I do worry about... I mean, it doesn't even take that long to paint them. If you want to half-arse paint Marines, you can get like a shit ton of it. It's just a lot of financial outlay if you want all of the units in multiples, which you generally see. And there's probably a limited edition one. And remember that each new codex comes with a unique digitally printed code inside the back cover. This code unlocks the codex's full content in Warhammer 40,000, the app. So if you haven't already downloaded it, make sure you do so in preparation and sign up for my Warhammer account. We're not going to do that. But, you know, if you buy the book anyway. Now, this is what's really interesting, because I don't know if these books are going to be available anymore in the digital platforms that we all used to buy them. It doesn't say that they are available. I'm hoping that they'll be available on iTunes and on Google Play Store, but I haven't. It would be weird if they are not, but welcome to Games Workshop. It would also be a step back. Agreed. They do have... There's an app. Holy shit! Have you heard about this app from Games Workshop? No way! 98 data sheets, but balance ain't one. Oh my god, they so could have had 99 data sheets. But the lion ain't one. You could just do loads. I think it will only be available in the app. No way. Okay, so it goes on pre-order this weekend, so we'll know by this weekend. Because by this weekend, you can also pre-order them normally on iTunes as well. There's no fucking way they're not going to do it. Don't worry about it. Do you guys still have phones? Oh. 69 would be a much better amount of data sheets. Okay. Oh, in addition to 98 data sheets, there are 137 Space Marine products on the Forge World site. But we know that the Forge World book has only got 98 data sheets in, I think, itself. And Hermaniston, nice to see you. I got 98 data sheets, but a Jump Pack Librarian ain't one. No, baby. Okay. All right. We'll wait to see whether or not it comes out on pre-order. I'm assuming it will. Now, there are data cards, which are in a better format than the Age of Sigmar ones. The Age of Sigmar ones are in these giant, bits of card, which are really uncomfortable to play with. However, the data cards for these are in normal playing size cards, which is cool. I would potentially be tempted to pick those up or replicate them myself. One of the two. Also on pre-order is going to be the Primaris Invader ATV, which has caused some hilarity generally in the community. I like it. I think it's ludicrous in a fun way. I think it is absolutely real fun. I think that plus a couple of the speeders, you would have a very cool profile to your army. It would look sweet. It would be ridiculous. You could paint it really dumb, like Biker Mice from Mars. Just have a really great time. I'm into that. I'm into the ATV. I really am. Hey, Trouser Face. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone for joining me live today. You guys are great. Don't forget to join me to the 40k adjacent show tomorrow, where we get to hear Val and Pete's take on using beer cozies for models in the game. It says all-terrain vehicle, but looks like it could only go on flat ground. Nick, great point. Look at that suspension. Yeah, that suspension doesn't look like it's particularly robust. Does it? Wait. Yeah, I don't see that going. There's no room. Oh, it's space. It's a space game. Who cares? Anyway, there's also going to be a cool-ass looking Primaris chaplain on bike. He's got a book on his bike, which is pretty funky. I do like the new Primaris bikes. I think they look quite fun. Not 100% certain that the Crozius looks particularly good scaled up. It's what is it, like a stick? You just whack people with it. Right, okay. So I'm not too bothered about that. Looks kind of cool. However, the thing that I am fucking livid about, livid that it goes on pre-order, livid, is the Firestrike servo turret. I don't think there's a lazier model that they could think to produce. I hate that it's movement 3. I fucking hate that it's movement 3. We did some Codex stuff the other day where you could build it up to movement 9. Fucking sucks. I never want to play against the guy that's got the gun emplacement. No. It's the worst. I'm so against it. I don't you can like it if you want to like it. Can it advance? It can probably also advance. Yeah. It should have at least movement 5 base. It should have no movement. It's flat. No articulate. Who's the guy that lifts it? You're all fucking idiots. That's what I'm going to tell you right now, Twitch chat. If any of you like this, we're falling out. Fucking wrong. Can it charge? Probably. Fuck. What unit were you talking about? We're talking about, I will send you a link in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are interested. This is the article I'm currently looking at while I talk to you guys. Let's all buy one for Rob. No, don't buy it for me. I'll set it on fire. I wouldn't set it on fire. I'd give it to some kid or something that was I really want to stand there. It's the exact antithesis. Anyway, it doesn't matter. How can a turret move, but also the third guy, the speeder, the ATV, can actually ride? The bikes can't ride on anything but perfectly flat ground. How are you only looking for IRL excuses for the turret? I'm not looking but there's some suspension of belief with the vehicles. I'm there's some momentum. And I know that you're a big tank guy. I know of all people, you're going to be the person who looks at the tank and thinks, this doesn't fucking make sense. Okay, fair enough. Just the turret triggers me. Because it's also a lazy model. It's not exciting at all. Imagine you say to your mate, okay, yeah, I've got this fucking chaplain. He's got a bike. He's got a book on it. He's going to come and beat you with the power of holy power. You think, all right, sweet. What have you got? Turret? Just a turret? Just a turret. Come on. Can you have a list with only turrets? You can have... Are they squads of 3? You might be able to have 9 turrets, which I'm not into. If I could bring 9 turrets, I will, goddammit. Yes, Steamonomics. The turret can move, which is what triggers me the most. Okay. Okay. I have a bucket of ice cream and an old whirlwind. My fire strike models isn't that bad. Okay, the whirlwind is fine. It says in the article it can move. It may be known for their lightning assaults, but sometimes even Space Marines need to hold the line against an overwhelming enemy force. That's where the Fire Strike servo turret comes in. These fearsome gun batteries can be fielded in units of up to 3. Fuck! You can have 9 of them. Armed with twin accelerator autocannons or twin laser talons for some anti-armor punch. What's more, they're manned by some of the chapter armory's best marksmen. How wouldn't you give the best marksman like a sniper rifle or something? Also, how can you be the best marksman in Space Marines? They're like genetically advanced super soldiers designed. Okay. Like, how significantly better a marksman can you be than the other Marines? I'm moving on from this bullshit. Let's go on to Necrons. I'm very excited about that. Very excited. It's the best marksman tech Marine. Oh. Okay. 6 Mario Karts and 9 turrets for the perfect 69 list. Oh my god, Grinaldi. 6 Mario Karts and 9 turrets. Oh god. Surely you wouldn't want to put a Tech Marines on a gun turret. No, you would want them to repair the gun turrets, right? I don't fucking know at this point. Whatever. The guys in the models team are just having a laugh at this point. Right, anyway, Codex Necrons. This is the biggest, most all-encompassing edition of Codex Necrons ever. Ooh. It includes detailed background of the ancient machine race and tells the full story of their ancestral rule of the Silent King. This is the stuff I'm excited about. This will be the first book I pick up and all the narrative I'll read. Very, very excited to read this. Very excited to read the rules. Very excited to understand it. Like, I feel like it's the first look we're going to get. The first look of a Xenos race. It's the first time that we're going to see them having... They've completely redesigned the range. So what does Games Workshop... And I wonder, like, how much... Like, with the turret, where, like, obviously the miniatures guys are like, we're just going to make some fucking turrets, lads, deal with it. I wonder how much the rules guys and the design guys have kind of had a back and forth on this, and if it's like a cohesive like army, or if the rules guys have taken the models that they've been given, which was the old paradigm, and maybe it's still true, and they've crafted like a well-designed like army with different roles, you know, different units doing different roles, having different strengths and weaknesses. So everything, like the internal parity of this book, is something I'm very excited to read, and how they've dealt with that. Because obviously it was a huge criticism of 8th edition stuff. So this is one I'm very, very excited about. Data cards, again. They've got some cool artwork on the back. Might get them, whatever. Right, so then the Silent King is back. So he's got those 2 little, like, drone things with him, which is quite cool. So they look fun. They look very fun. And it's a super rad model. I'd never buy it. But now, this motherfucker. This is the best model they maybe have made. The Locust Heavy Destroyer. Ooh, baby. The big guns are out in force of the Locust Heavy Destroyer, armed with either an infantry shredding Enmitic Exterminator or a tank busting Gauss Destroyer. Listen, if these are good, I might become a Necron player. These destroyers are bigger, gnarlier, and more heavily armed than ever. They just look swole. Fucking... Really into these. This is like full child mode on these ones. What does everyone in the Twitch chat think? Yeah. When are the TSN t-shirts available? I want to throw some money at you. I'm not sure. I'll find out today. I've got loads of admin stuff to do today, so we'll do some posts later. Games Workshop model designers, look at all these cool models, Games Workshop rule writers. We've made them all do exactly the same thing on the table. Yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case though, Dave. The Necron book for me is their benchmark. This is where I'm going to start to judge them on this edition. The Marine book, they've got so much fucking crap coming from other stuff that's been designed. Like, maybe it's the sales guys who are like, we just need to make more fucking Marines. Whatever. That one's in the bin for me. I'm like, that'll just be an abomination, either good or bad. It'll either be super OP, super not, loads of crap internal parity. But the Necron books, let's see what they can, do. I'm just hoping the guy that did the Harlequin update in White Dwarf, or in Psychic Awakening, whichever it was. I hope that guy's been in charge, because that guy like understood creating rules to make an army work. So that's I super get into this. Just above me, so where you guys can't see, is a picture of Alan Bly, which he signed for me, and that's up there all the time. Alan Bly, my favourite rules designer so far for Games Workshop, because of the stuff he was able to implement in the Heresy. He managed to do some amazing stuff. It's the design architecture that I get Jones off sometimes, and I'm just hoping the Necron book is ooh, like a French wine, like a sexy French wine. Oh, nice, 69 viewers. Thanks everyone for joining me. It would be nice if everyone's interested, if we could hit more 80 viewers a day. So if you are watching, or you listen to the podcast, or you're watching back as a VOD, if you could ever watch every day, it would be super cool to get our average above 75. And then we can go for partner status on the Wargamer, which would be super sweet. So if anyone wants to join me every day, that'd be so lush. That'd be so lush. But it could be 14 of you. I'm still having a great time, and I love you guys, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. So next week, Games Workshop releasing a turret that you can move for Space Marines, and a giant walker that can't move if it wants to fire its big gun properly for Necrons. Okay. All right. See you later, Steamonomics. Is the Marine Flamer with guns and more guns on your guns Deep Strike pillbox from space out next week? Also, it is not out next week. Will you be my partner? Sure. Yeah, baby. I don't know what the deal is. Sorry again. I'd rather it was just people joined us. Listen, we don't have to push it. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We've always skirted underneath. Anyway, Canoptic Doomstalker. The Canoptic Doomstalker is a creepy daddy long legs. Also a phenomenal model. Again, now I've seen it up close, and it just looks baller as shit. If you like your creepy Doom approaches, each time set the battlefield. Okay, doesn't say anything about it. But there are some Necron dice. Oh! Everyone knows this is my favourite subject. Games Workshop dice. These guys are on another fucking planet. This is Picasso dies, Van Gogh dies, all their work become far more valuable. People appreciate their genius after they're dead. Do you know what I mean? They're like I imagine at the time, I'm getting my back whipped, carrying these giant rocks to build a pyramid. I'm like, why do you need this giant pyramid? Just dig a hole in the ground, bro. But now we appreciate the pyramids. The genius didn't make sense at the time, I imagine. But right now. But these Necron dice, or Games Workshop dice generally, they are ahead of the curve. So far ahead. They're in 2042 with dice. Just Trouserface can't be asked for the dice. You're not embracing the dice. You can get dice from anywhere, Trouserface. But can you get absolutely fucking useless dice anywhere else other than Games Workshop? No one else can take that hit. No one else can take that hit. It's the best place. Space Marine dice are actually shite. The 1 to 5 are weird sides again. Circon, they're not. Again, you're approaching the dice like you want them to be useful. This isn't the way to approach Games Workshop dice. I couldn't be more serious about this. However, the Necron, you can use them as wound markers. They're particularly good as wound markers. But the Necron dice are sexy, and they kind of make sense. You can kind of see. Wait, is there 2 symbols? They have a symbol on the 1 and a symbol on the 6. Fucking brilliant! They for a while, they were making actual dice with only the symbols on the 6. What meeting did they go to where they're like, look, lads, you know how we had the meeting where we had to take the symbols off the 1s and we put them on the 6s? They're like, yeah, it's just not enough. More symbols in more places. Oh, Milky Badger, thank you for subscribing for 24 months. Your 2-year anniversary. Fucking yes. Let's go. Double symbol. Double symbol is the best. Oh, God. You see the battle report with the Mandarin's book where his opponent uses Lumineth dice. I hate it so much. Oh, my God. See, this is why Warhammer's great, because like half of it doesn't make sense, like at all. Why not put symbols on the on all of the sides? They've done that before. That's the best. That's the best one. See those heresy dice that sold like hotcakes? Fire that dude. Let's get some more symbols in there. Any way we can randomize that face the symbol is on. Get our design team onto that. The guy that did the heresy dice, I think it wasn't even a guy, FYI. I think it was a very talented lady. They've got a couple of like really great female designers in Forge World. Midfilm, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for also joining the fucking team. They've basically been designed by the same guy who did the repulsor, just stick symbols fucking everywhere. Right, okay, let me look at the rest of the dice. So Necron dice, excellent, symbols on both sides. A double win on dice design there. And now the Marine dice. What the fuck are they? What the fuck are those? What the fuck? Okay, so they've got... Have they got many symbols? So there's the Imperial Fist sign, okay, and then there's some sort of other thing on the bottom. And then are there numbers anywhere? What the fuck are those? Those are the worst dice I've ever seen. Has anyone got another picture of the dice anywhere? Oh my god. Wait, okay. Marine dice have an apothecary symbol on the 1, 2 to 5, and chapter symbol on the 6. What? I played a doubles tournament against some Dark Eldar players, and they used AOS Dark Elf dice with the symbols on the 1s and 40k Dark Elf dice with almost exactly the same symbols on the 6s. No one knew what was being rolled for after 30 minutes. That's the worst. Rob, we need to create the best dice. Are you ready? Symbol on light, symbol only like Sylvaneth, see-through like Idoneth, and shaped like the Lumineth dice. And then there also need to be bouncy. Don't forget the squig dice. Oh my god. Salamander's dice, worst lol burning poop. It's like the dice roll equivalent of interpretive dice. You could get really into it though. Okay, you could get like super weirdly into it. You know, like a shaman, like roll the bones. Yeah? And then like scry what the results are. It's not like the rules guys haven't done many kind of like live streams and articles and rules changes specifically to speed up the game. They have done many kind of structurally like rules changes. Like they've looked at the game and they've thought, okay, it's too slow here. We're going to make the board smaller, less dice rolling. We're going to try and create all these things. And then they've made the dice, which are the antithesis of that process. They are so good. I haven't clicked the image of the dice yet. Okay, if you guys, if you're listening to the podcast, please go and find out what the official dice. Some people have said. So one comment to the dice are these casino-style hard dice angles? If so, that's very cool. Is it cool? I mean, they lie flat. So for like wound markers, I guess that's a good thing. Oh, they fucking suck. I got nothing to say about those. Colonel Cabbage has just designed us the perfect dice. Okay, I'll get on with the dice team to design us some Games Workshop style. I wonder if we can describe them as Games Workshop style dice. Probably not. I'll get in trouble. Faster game, more time for dice. Thank you, Koenigit. I have worked it out now. I don't really have much more to say on the dice. I spent too long on that because they're just always brilliant. They're just always brilliant. Okay. So that's the stuff that's coming out. There's also like a collectum. Oh, fucking don't care about that. There's some new gangers coming out for Necromunda team. Oh, shit, yes. Let's go. Some new Forge World upgrades. They look rad, as always. There's some Black Library stuff. Can we talk about the fucking artwork for the these books? For the... Is this the... That looks shit. I'm a big sci-fi nut. I really like kind of like Art Deco 70s future sci-fi stuff. That's kind of like one of my like design kinks. If anyone's into that, obviously they've like nailed it with some of the new stuff like Dune. It doesn't always have to be grimdark. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that looks fucking woeful. And obviously that's the subjective aesthetic choice. So designer, if you're listening, I doubt. I apologize. That like I'm sure there are people who love that and jazz off that look. Maybe they're trying to appeal to a different crowd. I don't know, but it's not me. And there's a Warhammer Adventures book. Sweet. Read by David Tennant. Also sweet. War of the Orcs. Oh, hello. I'll be listening to that. That's fun. Okay, and then there's one more bit of news. Let's see what the guys in the chat are saying. It's usually duckheads who they know casino dice roll fairer, not realised if you roll casino dice, they actually are less fair because they actually need to tumble, which is why craps tables are long. That's very interesting. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Someone needs to do a subtitled edit on the Games Workshop dice to this guy. Art Deco is the best original animated Batman and Bioshock, says Scott. Are Eldar good or crap in 40k these days? Gwerzy says they are medium at the minute, Gersey. I think is what people are generally thinking for those. Okay, all right, it's fun. Okay, so that's all the stuff that's going on pre-order this weekend, because that was kind of announced ahead of time, so they got done over. But the other cool bit of news is the Sons of Behemoth. Ooh, baby. They've got an article out. They've started talking about the God Beast, which is the World Titan, which was the father of the Mega Gargants, which is super cool. Which, if you don't know the story, he was slain. He sicked up. The original narrative was he threw up all the other Gargants. Let me just see if this makes sense. After this, it's claimed he fell into a slumber. So I'll read it out. Yamong was the first of God Beasts. Was of the first God Beasts. It said that the land, sea, and sky in the mortal realms were parted from each other by a shattering blow from his club. After this, it's claimed that he fell into a great slumber, and the first Gargants grew within his vast belly. It was the Gargant known as Behemoth that helped his kin escape, brewing a lake of moonshine in the marshlands of his father's guts, causing Yamong to retch the first Gargants into his mouth. Behemoth escaped by hammering through the teeth of his father, shattering them where they fell. The first mountains of the mortal realms were formed. Yamong would go on to be slain by Sigmar, but for Behemoth, the story had just begun. Okay, so that's how they first came to being. I think originally they sicked them up, like Yamong threw up the Gargants, but they've obviously changed the narrative a little bit. We've got a retcon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think the Age of Sigmar community is likely to be as triggered by a retcon as the 40k community, but Sons of Behemoth, Mong, lol. You missed the news that the release will be late in New Zealand and Australia. I'm very sorry to all my brethren across the world. That sounds like a night out in Rock City. So my initial thoughts, now not to doomsay or naysay, I'm as excited as everyone about the Sons of Behemoth, but unfortunately the rules that I've seen so far, none of them have really struck home. We've seen some rules releases. Now, of course, we're waiting for the actual rules to come out so we could review them properly, but currently they don't strike me as being brilliant. I am excited to see the full rules though, and to read the narrative, because if nothing else, they're going to be super fun. And they're mega evocative. I think it's super cool of Games Workshop to release these. I think they're going to capture people's imagination, competitive or not. which I think is good. It will be a shame if they're not competitive, or at least understood to be competitive. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm very excited for those, but hopefully we'll see those in a few weeks, right? And that's it. That's all the news from around the realms, unless anyone else has got any other news. But that is all of the news for today, which has been a very exciting day. We've had lists win things that we haven't seen, new models on the horizon, amazing dice. It's a pretty good day in the hobby, really, as a roundup. There's no news on the Sinesh or Daughters of Cain book. I think that's still farther away than they would like to tell us. Christmas not far around the corner, as well as spooky season, October the 31st, heading up, which is very fun. And I can announce that one of these Super Series dates will be on spooky season, which is the 31st of October. So we're going to have a Halloween Super Series match. So far it's looking like the 17th and the 31st of October are two of the dates for stage 1. So exciting times. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the teams. I've been talking to the team coaches. They say their teams are going to do dress up. I guess that means that the commentary team are going to have to do dress up as well, which could be fun. And it'd be very exciting to see what the band phase looks like for that particular matchup. I mean, if we see Ghosts band, or if one of the teams is brave enough to additionally also bring Ghosts during Spooky Day, which would make for a hilarious kind of event. Dave Fraser, narrator, they were not competitive and they never got a points adjustment. Yes, probably true. I'm very unconfident about the competitive nature of Gargants at the minute. Very unconfident. I would need them to have like a universal special rule where someone suggested they ignore damage 1. Now you're talking. If they don't have something like that, I'm not very confident about them, is all I'm going to say. Bear outfit for Scrivo. Perfect. Oh, thanks, Mr. Tiga. There's a Danish tournament at the weekend, and there are some lists. I appreciate that. Maybe I'll have a look at those. NordCon 2020. All right, I'll get onto those later. Appreciate you a ton. 3rd and 4th October. Okay. Well, good. If anyone's got any questions, we are done. The show is on tonight. We're back in the studio work, so we should be back in full force. Nathan, Dan, and James. James is back off his holiday, wherever that lazy so-and-so was at. So yeah, it's going to be very, very fun. I'm looking forward to that. Has anyone got any questions before I head out for the day? I'd be interested to know. I want to say thank you, of course, to everyone on the Wargamer Patreon. The podcasters, you guys are great. And yeah, big love and shout out to my boys in the chat. You guys have been fun today. Really appreciate it. So thank you. We talk about starting a new army. Says Malik. Me starting a new army or generally starting a new army? I think that'd be interesting. Tonight's show is actually going to be about the army archetypes. Kind of the structure of the game as is at the moment. To have that conversation very quickly. So you guys, it's meant to be like an introduction to the new meta for people, is the point of the show today. When is the 40k show deep dive on the new turret for Space Marines? Never. Never ever. If we can help it, if we can help it, never. If that helps. The Marine book will be a slog, right? To do a review on, like a slog, like a 3-parter, 98 data sheets. We obviously will do the Necron one first, obviously, and then the Marine one later. Trials of Face, did I contact Toby? I did not. Sorry, did not PM him because that was during the middle of the Super Series setup, so I was very, very messed up. Thanks, Tony. That'd be cool. The 40k AOS crossover show with deep dives on turrets and Saurus Knights. Right, okay, you guys are just not helping me out today, so I'm going. But listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Join us again tomorrow when hopefully got Val and the Falcon on. Listen to what they've got to say, especially after the hilarious drama that occurred at the weekend. If you guys check that out, and if not, you should. Very funny. Listen to yesterday's show for some details. I want to say thank you again always for joining me every day. I don't care that there's not hundreds of you. I enjoy every one of you that does join me or listens to the podcast. I can't thank you enough for. I appreciate you. So it's just great. Look after yourself, stay hydrated, and just